So Chris, I met you last year at World Pork Expo, and the big buzz with your booth were the cooling pads.
Yes,
so
it was.
let's talk about those. What
Yeah.
are the cooling pads that IHT has, and how do you help pork producers with those?
Perfect. Yeah. So, yeah, it's been a great innovation. We worked with Purdue on this, developing it and trying to take it to the next level. So they came out with the initial design. It started out as sows, and we've taken it to the next step with a lot of research into the boar studs as well. So, boars, summer, huge amount of heat stress, increased trash rate, and production goes down, semen production quality is down. So we offer them a environment or an actual cooled area that helps with production numbers and quality. So instead of having to fully air condition a barn, which is very expensive, there's an option to retrofit into a regular barn instead of having to go through the whole process of air conditioning. Because it is a shorter time on the boar stud, like it's the summer months, I would say between April and August, that it's September, that it's very, very hot with heat stress.
So for people to not confuse it with the heating pads,
Yes.
you have your heating pads,
Yep.
but the cooling pads are different. They're more like a slat, correct?
They're more like a slat that would sit on top of the flooring, so in a boar stud or in a sow barn, which is where it all started, and that's where a lot of the initial data came from. So it's like sow comfort, heat stress in sows. When it's very hot outside, you're in southern US and 6 months of the year it's almost 100 degrees. Well, it's hard to keep that barn to the temperature. Everybody knows sow comfort, best lactation is around 68 degrees. Well, that's hard to keep a room under 68 degrees.
Correct.
So one of the things it does, it gives her the comfort and the perfect area to lay on. And then with the heating side, it keeps the piglets away from them. So we've got this whole microclimate we've created for the sow and the piglet. And some of the data we've received, it's just amazing versus a control versus the cooling pads in multiple different sites.
And you mentioned you collaborated with Purdue
Yes.
on this. Go into that. How did they help, and how did you guys work together?
Yeah, so it's amazing. They're a major ag engineering school. They put a lot of patents together and products out to market. So working with them, they approached us and said, hey, you guys are very good in your area where you're at. You're a market leader. You're innovative in what you're doing. You're changing things and the way things are done. Let's look at this. So we came together with an agreement. It took quite a while, but we came up with this agreement, and they still hold the patents on everything, but we have the agreement to manufacture it all for them. Now, since the original one came out, we've actually changed the design slightly, just to make it more commercial. So a lot of stuff that happens when you're making stuff in a university, it's the highest price product. It's very expensive to make the way it's originally engineered. So what we do is we've taken things out, we've changed the way it works, so it's more applicable to actually work in a barn. It's easier to wire and plumb into a barn. So that's kind of one of the things that we've added with our engineers, is just keep trying to take things out to actually make it cost feasible for producers to actually implement into their systems.
I'm here with Chris at IHT here at the Iowa Pork Congress 2025, and we are focusing on their innovative pig solutions that they have in hog equipment. IHT offers heat mats. What energy efficiencies does that offer in hog barns?
Well, the biggest one is electrical efficiencies and taking electricity off the grid.
Okay.
We're by far the most energy efficient heat mat out there. We've seen producers reduce energy consumption by approximately 60% in a lot of their barns versus standard heat lamp technologies. But there's other things that go into the actual mat that producers really find valuable. We do antimicrobial coatings that are actually part of the integration into the resins, which make things very easy to clean. That's one of the big things people have come back to us and said, wow, we can't believe how easy these things are to clean. We integrate into any systems. We can make custom sizes. So we can do anything from a nursery size down to angles to fit into certain, any type of configuration a customer would have in their barn. So if their crates are angled, we can fit into that. We can make an angled size mat. We do doubles, we do singles. We can basically integrate into any system, whether it's new or retrofits.
Let's talk about the coatings that you have on those mats. Tell people how they're beneficial and how they help pork producers.
Yeah, so what it is, it's actually integrated right into the resin, into our FRP resin. So what it is even if it gets scratched, it's right through to the bottom of it. So what it does is, It makes it very easy to clean. So people can just go through, hit it with a pressure washer. You don't have to get down and scrub it like a rubber mat or other mats out there. It's very, very easy to clean, as well as the impact resistance and everything else. So it offers everything they would want, but it also offers this amazing cleanability. So,
And how long does a heat mat usually last?
well, we have an industry like leading 3-year warranty, but we're seeing farms out there. We've got people that have had our technology for 18 years in a barn. It all depends how people take care of it. Obviously, it's a wet, corrosive environment, a lot of abuse, but we've had people with stuff out for 18 years. But we see that they should last at least 5 years. But with a lot of the stuff we get, we see the ROI is under 2 years in the worst case scenario right now, without getting into rebates or other grants that we can help them get on the farm level.
And when you mention a 3-year warranty,
Yeah.
what does that include?
It's basically any wear and tear on the product. So if something goes wrong with a mat and it's not working, we just send you a new one to have it replaced. So it's like a bumper to bumper kind of warranty we would have on the system.
Very nice. And how do heat mats help with pig health in a barn or a nursery?
Yeah, so one of the biggest things we see is it just gives you an even wave they can lay out. So if you look at a traditional barn with a lamp going down, you'll see them piling on top, so you get crushing, and they get closer to the sow, so there's that danger area there. But with a mat, they lay out evenly, and then it gets them away from that danger area, so you can be a few, like 3-4 inches away from the sow, so you don't have to worry about her rolling over, crushing them as well. The other thing that comes on it is heat lamps. A lot of times you look at them and they're actually heating the sow as well. You can actually see the lamp hitting the sow, versus this keeps everything away. It's more of a directional heating zone you've created. So it's like a heating zone versus actually heating the air.
And I'm sure that's probably very beneficial when it's summertime and you're trying to keep your
Yes.
barns cooler for sows.
Yes.
But the pigs warm,
Yeah.
the babies.
One of our large customers and integrators said to me, they noticed the biggest energy savings was in the summer. And we always thought, hey, it's winter, it's cold, you want to heat. They said just by not heating the air with a lamp and just heating a section that's only 12 inches, 14 inches high off the top of the mat in that little microclimate, they found that ventilation worked less, breaker panels weren't burning out, so their maintenance in their barn in their summer considerably less. And then the power consumption and everything, they could run smaller generators in their barns. So it was just the wear and tear on other machinery in the barn by not heating the whole air in the room, and then having that fight. You're trying to cool it down and heat at the same time. It was very beneficial.
So you offer multiple products. You have lighting products that you offer for hog barns, and they're designed to improve the lighting in the swine barns.
Yes.
What are some of the advantages of using IHT lighting throughout barns?
So one of the things we did is we developed we have 2 different lights that we actually put in hog barns. One is a linear fixture, which would replace like a standard T8.
Okay.
So you got like a 4-foot long, 40-watt linear fixture, which would reduce electrical and better lighting conditions in a barn. But one of the big ones we see out there, we have a jelly jar replacement that just with an E26, you pop it in. So the light itself replaces the jelly jar and the light in one. So you can do it from new construction or retrofit. So it's kind of nice. You take off your jelly jar, you take out the light, you put the E26 in, and you apply the light on there, and it's perfect for that. So one of the things that we added for this was we understand the harsh conditions of a hog barn. We live it. It's our customer base. And what we've seen is you can pressure wash these lights. They last a lot longer, and the light intensity. So you can go back to where, hey, 12, 16 foot on centers with LED lights, whereas people started moving it down to 10 foot on centers. So you can have less lights in the barn, like when there used to be incandescent lights, 100-watt incandescent. So this would replace that, and it's 14 watts, and the lumen output is quite high on that. So.
And how does lighting quality benefit pigs or animal behavior in their hog barns?
One of the big things that we see is we actually see it on the production side. So like safety, you can see everything in the barn. It's very safe. You can clean the lights. You don't have to worry about things breaking on that side. We've had a bunch of veterinarians come to us and say, wow, I can actually do my job better. I can see the environment itself. It's just a safer, more pleasant environment to work in with the brighter lighting conditions throughout the hog barn.
So Chris, IHT emphasizes revolutionizing agricultural products.
Yes.
In your mission statement. How does your team keep striving to keep doing that for the pork industry?
Yeah, so we actually work very closely with our customers, a lot of the large integrators, Canada, US, worldwide. They come to us with problems that they're having in their systems that we've helped them solve with things that we've done already, or help them with products that they know they can count on us to do. So we've had customers come to us with other ideas, and then we hand it off to our engineering team, and we collaborate with these producers and like, these are the issues you have, these are your pain points. Let's come together and solve these things. The other interesting thing we have is we have 3 sales reps that oversee in the United States. Every one of them worked for a large integrator, so they understand pork production. They understand what it takes to take a pig from firstborn to market. They understand all the stresses on this system, whether it's labor, to cost, to feed, to heat, to cooling, everything that goes in for the health and safety of staff and pigs themselves. So they're always giving us input on stuff as well. So it's amazing to have a team like that around you with all the knowledge that they have. So
in the heating, cooling, lighting arena in the hog world, what is something that what's a piece of advice you would give all pork producers just to keep an eye on?
Yeah, honestly, what we say is have your employees walk the barn. See what's happening with the piglets. If you're in a farrowing room, you can actually see the way they're laying. You can tell whether they've got the appropriate amount of heat at the right time of the farrowing cycle. So that's one of the big things. So when the workers are walking through, or we're walking through barns with customers, we can tell, hey, the piglets are getting a perfect amount of heat. They're all laid out after they've eaten. They're just laid out like perfect fingers along the mat. So it's perfect that way. And then if they're not, what is happening in the systems? Do we need to calibrate things in the controllers? We can work with any controller manufacturers. We can help them set curves. So if they're having difficulties, that's how we can help on that side. The biggest thing is once they try the mats and the products we have, a lot of people they sit back and they're like, wow, that was a lot easier. It's taken labor out of their system. So they can use those hours that they would go in changing light bulbs and lamps and constantly doing this maintenance. They can actually take that time and use it for productive things in actual pig production.
Well, thank you, Chris. Thanks you for educating everyone on IHT products. How can people find your company, and how can they get a hold of you?
You can get a hold of us on the web, ihtgroup.ca. There's that. Reach out on LinkedIn. We have lots of posts going on there. And on our website, you can click on the sales reps. We have sales reps in 3 different parts of the United States. They take care of a lot of that. Or you can reach out to me, myself. I'll get back to you, or our marketing people.
Great. Thank you. Have a safe trip. We'll see you in another Pork
Thank you.
Expo.
Thank you very much.